Alright guys, I know I missed last weekend posting a video. I've been super busy at work, and I also been super busy on the Festiva. So, and I just, when I get started working, I just forget to pick up the camera and record anything, but I have made some huge progress on the car. I know last weekend I was talking, or the last video, I was talking about hopefully in a couple weeks or so, I'll get the car on the ground. Well, today was that day. It is on the ground under its own weight. Suspension is not done 100%, but done enough to drop it on the ground and see how it looks. The rear tires are pretty close. I mean, there is technically gap in there and everything. They are super duper close. Front's pretty decent. Camber's off a little bit, of course. Not bad though. Nothing that some camber plates and or the camber bolts for the struts couldn't fix. I kind of figured that was gonna be the case. I did a lot of work to this. As you can see, I've got these upper part pieces done for the plates for that to bolt to. I am probably going to put some extra supports that run from here down just to give the top piece a lot more strength. Of course, I've got, well, this whole side done now. Last video, this was still all together, but I got all that cut out, put the bars in through to the roll cage, front motor mount on. Radiator mounts are up here. Probably gonna have to finagle those a little bit. I had to tweak it a wee bit, so I haven't thrown the radiator back in this yet to make sure it still fits. I'm pretty sure it will. For the front suspension, what I had to do is I had to make some new drop down brackets for the lower control arms. Can't really see them in there, but had to make some new pockets, welded it into the old pocket where the control arm went to. Had to drop it down and bring it out actually. That way it spaced the whole tire out long enough so it wasn't binding the axle anymore. Then the next part was I made these. I actually got these from Speedway, what was it? Speedway Motors. It's a company I've bought some other suspension components off of. I got my springs from them for the other Festiva, but I got this Heim joint kit, 3/4 inch threaded, and they're adjustable. So, and then I made these little brackets that fit to where the holes go, and then of course up to here. That way it gets this part straightened out. Well, adjustable, and instead of, this isn't going to run a sway bar, or maybe down the road I'll figure out how to put a sway bar on this car, but for now it's going to be using these bars to locate it. Kind of how like the stock Festivas use the sway bar as also the lower control arm link to keep everything in place. So got both sides of those done. They're fully adjustable, so I can adjust the caster a little bit too. The next thing is going to be the tie rods. I'm probably going to buy a new steering rack actually. This one is pretty well shot. I don't even think it's worth trying to mess with. I'm just gonna have to get a new one. It's seen its days. It's pretty well done. What else? Oh, master cylinder. I don't think that was actually on last time. Master cylinder is bolted in. Well, not fully, still gotta tighten it down, but the plate is fully bolted in, and I made the rod that goes from master cylinder to the brake pedal, so that's in. and works pretty well. I think I did adjust where the bolt hole goes onto the pedal a little higher to give it more leverage, basically, especially since this is going to be manual brakes, no brake booster at all. So you need that extra little leverage to apply more pressure to the brakes. I will be putting in a adjustable proportioning valve for this, especially how light the back of the car is kind of going to be. Well, maybe not super light, especially with that big rear end whole cradle. I mean, it looks light, but I'll tell you what, I cannot lift this on my own. It is actually quite heavy. My plan, however, is there's like 2 or 3 different companies out there that produce a full tubular cradle. And the good thing is they go into the stock locations of your original car. Well, since I used the stock style locations on this whole subframe and everything out of the Talon, it theoretically should just bolt right up to where this one sets, which would lighten it up and, well, lighten the car up, more, horsepower to weight ratio and all that. Fuel tank there, I still need to actually mount them. I need to now finish putting metal over the floors, just clean this whole back end up. Dash is in. That was a nightmare to fit. I don't remember last video, but I've got all the pedals in, and I have the gas pedal hooked up. That I had to make some custom bracket, actually, right here. So I had to make a little custom one. This is coming off of the stock, where it would be on stock on the Talons. And then, of course, using the Festiva actual cable. And then I just made my own little bracket and all that. And that works pretty dang well. This I'll probably end up just zip tying up there or whatever. What else? Oh, well, unfortunately, with this side going through where it had to go, the wiper motor is no longer there. But I do think I might have some ideas on that. I think I'm going to relocate this, actually, to over here off of the weld some tabs right here and have this go over there. And I was thinking about relocating the motor down further here. Now, doing that, I'm going to have to, of course, take the arms off of here. I'm going to have to shorten one arm and lengthen the other arm. And I think I can get those to work again. This will be a pretty hardcore drag car / road course / whatever I want to do with it. But I do still want to keep some of the street functionality of this car. I do the drag and drive events. I've done 2 of them already. This is what this car is really being built for, is drag and drive events. So I do want to still have that luxury of wiper blades. Because on this last one, sick week, we did hit quite a bit of rain. One day it rained pretty much all day. And I don't want to have to deal with not having wiper blades, because that sucks. Package came in. I got my wiring harness, or part of the harness there. I got it wired all in, but this is the connector A for the fuel tech. I'll be running the FT450 like I have in the other Festiva. Just for time's sake right now and money's sake, I'm just going to be swapping that computer from car to car, especially since you can have up to 4 different tunes saved in just the computer itself. I'll have like red Festiva tunes and gray Festiva tunes. And I'll just swap those until money comes a little more available, and then I'll probably just go ahead and buy this car's own dedicated. Or if the other one becomes this designated one and the gray one needs a new one, whichever way it works. It doesn't really matter in the end. But yeah, car is on the ground, and these are the Eagle Talon rims and tires. See by the logo. Of course, it's got disc brakes now, front and back. Their brakes are way bigger than, of course, the stock Festivus ones. This will have actually rear brakes that function, because the rear drums, you know how the Festiva ones don't like working all that well. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Like I said, I've made some huge strides. Both seats are bolted in. Probably the next task I'm going to be working on is the shifter linkage. I got to cut a hole in the firewall, run the shifter cables. The next thing too will be, of course, starting to wire the whole motor and everything, and bolting in, making some mounts and bolting in the shifter where I want that to go. But yeah, this is turning out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it so far. I think I've come a long ways with the car in a pretty short time. I'm just going to keep trying to knock it out, do this day by day, any spare time I have just to get her done. Now the fun part is going to be pretty much rebuilding the whole front of this car for the bumper, fender. Well, the fenders, the good thing is, since I kept these upper pieces, the fenders just bolt back into the stock location. I don't have to make all that new stuff. That's kind of why I kept this top piece here, is that way everything's kind of located already, especially for the fenders. So it makes it it'll make it a little bit easier. I did debate whether cutting that whole piece off, but I'm like, you know what? It really doesn't matter, and it'll help it look a little better and easier to get everything located and all that. And of course, I'm gonna have to make all new headlight buckets, all that. But it's gonna be interesting. I've got a couple ideas with doing something different with the front end of this car. And not having the traditional Festiva look to it. Got a couple ideas. We'll see how it works. I might stick with the stock Festiva stuff. Maybe. We'll see. But that should do it for now, guys. Until next time, I'll see you later.